Good day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys should go ahead and subscribe for more RWBY videos. Make sure that you guys check out my Discord server if you guys want to talk RWBY with us. And this video was brought to you by my YouTube membership members as well as my patrons over on Patreon, so thanks to them very much. So today we're going to be talking about some casual RWBY news drop, and I say casual because it was very random, not random, but like Arryn was basically like talking about her life. I'll put the tweet somewhere up here, but she, like, in the same breath, she was mentioning like Fortnite and stuff. Like, she was just mentioning what she was doing, and then very casually it was like, oh yeah, by the way, we may be recording for RWBY Volume 9 soon, and everyone freaked out, right? Like, all of Twitter freaked out. If you look at the quote replies and then those replies, like, it was just like mayhem. And this was a couple days ago, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I don't know, I can't really decide what side I fall on here, because some people are like, oh my god, like, this is crazy, like, this is great, like, they're so far ahead, like, woo, right? And so if you guys don't know, a couple months ago, there was an article that basically, like, with RWBY, and they were like, yeah, like, volume 8 and 9 are greenlit, we're writing those now, stuff like that. And then, a couple months later, basically, I think around the summertime, is when, like, people started recording for Volume 8, and there was sort of, like, the indication that, like, not that Volume 8 is done, because I don't want to say anything is done, right? I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, I don't think the things are done until they come out, right? But, like, people were recording for Volume 8, so there was sort of the impression that enough was done for them to record, and that they may have been moving over to focusing a little bit more on Volume 9. Like, that's just how I would interpret it. Again, I don't know. I don't work there, okay? So, like, take my, analysis of what they're doing with a grain of salt. But if they were recording for Volume 8, enough of Volume 8 has been written. And, like, we got voice actors, like, I think Ren's voice actor was like, yeah, that's Ren all wrapped up for Volume 8. Like, they've been finishing, right? And so, I guess in the meantime, they were writing Volume 9. And now, Blake's voice actress, who is Arryn, right, is like, hey, we may be recording for Volume 9 soon. So that's sort of the timeline. And so a lot of people are really excited. Some people are under the impression that this means that there's going to be 2 RWBYs in 1 year. And so basically the timeline with that would be Volume 7 ends in February, right, if it releases in October, and then like 2 months later, like let's say May, in May you have RWBY Volume 9, and then a 2-month break after like that wraps up, and then in October you would have RWBY Volume 10. Does that make sense to everyone? It's sort of hard to visualize, but basically you would have Volume 7 ends in February, 2-month break, then just say in May it starts, and then I guess August or July it would finish. Like, obviously if there's 12 episodes, that's 12 weeks, you guys can do all that, and then in October Volume 10 would start. No, absolutely not. I don't think that that's gonna happen. I don't blame people for dreaming. I kind of do though, because you guys don't understand, like, for the RWBY YouTubers, how much work RWBY is. Like, it's nice to have a little bit of a hiatus, you know what I mean? But if we had to do 2 RWBYs in a year, I'm pretty sure like half of us would just like break under the pressure. So like, from my perspective as a RWBY YouTuber, and like, being around other RWBY YouTubers that work full time, could not be me, sis. I don't want them to do that. I want 1 RWBY a year with a nice long hiatus so I can live my life. What you guys have to remember is that more volumes like that, like, would effectively shorten the lifespan of the show, right? Because the Rooster Teeth relies on people, like, every year people are gonna subscribe for RWBY, and I don't know the math. I don't know if it would be better for them to, like, do 2 RWBYs in 1 year and then hope that people have a year membership instead of, like, the 6-month or whatever membership they get every year. You know what I mean? I don't know the math on that. I don't know the math, okay? But I'm pretty sure that it's better for them to elongate, right? To lengthen the show as much as possible and spread it out so people keep coming back and keep giving their money. You know what I mean? Because eventually, like, I don't want to sound, like, pessimistic or anything, but people will drop Rooster Teeth as soon as RWBY is over, right? And so they don't want that, and so the faster you finish RWBY, the less they get out of RWBY fans in the long term. You know what I mean? So I don't think that they'd want to do 2 seasons a year unless they're just really trying to get rid of the show, which I don't think that they are. So yeah, that is, like, the one thing, like, with the, like, woo, like, things are getting done early that, like, I totally disagree with. I don't think there's gonna be more RWBY this year just because they are working ahead. Now, on working ahead, here is my concern, and I saw a couple RWBY YouTubers say sort of the same thing, maybe in a harsher way. Like, I don't remember what Fat Man Falling said, but he was like, why, like, work to make Volume 8 twice as better when you can do 2 volumes at once? Like, I don't know. The way he said it sounded better. But you guys understand what I mean? Like, why are they working ahead on Volume 9 when they could be using the time they're working on Volume 9 to continue to polish Volume 8 until it's coming out? I think that they can do both at the same time. Maybe that's like too optimistic of me. But I understand that concern, because here's my thing, right? If Blake is already recording, if Arryn is already recording, like, sometimes there are things that happen. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes there are things that happen that the fans have a confused reaction to, or, you know, an adverse reaction to, or that something is misunderstood, right? So say, like, Blake has a line, and it goes badly with people, and people don't understand the intent of the line, let's just pretend, right? And then Miles and Carrie and, like, Eddie and all them, they're just like, oh shit, like, we didn't mean for that line to mean this, we actually meant for it to mean this. So if Blake has a similar line in Volume 9, we have to go fix that, let's just pretend, right? But if Blake has already recorded all her stuff for Volume 9, by the time Volume 8 is airing, then it's sort of like, oh fuck, well now we have to get Arryn back in the recording room. Now we have to, like, I don't know, we have to change like her mouth flaps or something like that to go along with this new line we're giving her. I don't know, but I'm just saying that would personally be my concern, is that the fan feedback that is in between volumes, it's obviously not gonna change any major plot points, you know what I mean? They're not gonna go crazy, and they never change stuff like based on what we say in terms of major plot points. They have all those, but I'm saying in terms of like the little things that sort of add up over a volume to make it good or bad, that would be my concern. Is the more that you've done on a project, the harder, in my head, it would be to go back and fix those, right? Because there's a difference between, oh, like, they didn't understand this line in Volume 8, so if we explain it again in Volume 9, we're gonna say this, this, and this, let's just pretend, right? Like, there's a difference between just going on the computer and rewriting it, I know it's not that easy, but you know what I mean? Versus, like, oh, well, we've already had a character say it, they've already been in the booth, we'll have to call them back, like, to go into the booth and say this new line, and we'll have to change the animation, we'll have to change this, this, and this that we already did for this scene, right? And so that would be my concern. And listen, I don't know how their shit works. I don't work there, okay? So, like, this could be totally wrong. There maybe isn't anything to worry about, but that would be my concern as a fan, as someone who doesn't know their process very, like, you know, that would be, like, my worry, I guess you could say, is that, you know, from the outside looking in, that would be my concern, is how can they take the fan feedback if they're working so far ahead that Volume 9's already done? You know, a little afraid of them working too far ahead and then not being able to change things easily, but I'm optimistic, and here's my, like, last message. It is wait and see, guys. Like, you just need to wait and see what happens. Like, if Volume 8 is the best volume ever, right, and, like, the critics love it, we love it, everyone loves it, right, like, if it's, you know, the best volume that RWBY has ever had, you know, we're sort of gonna shrug and be like, oh, well, I guess working on Volume 9 at the same time, like, didn't, you know, hurt. It didn't hurt the volume, right? But if Volume 8 is bad, that's when people are gonna start looking at, well, should they have really spent that time on Volume 9 when this, and this could be improved in Volume 8? Like, it's a wait and see, and it's basically gonna depend on the quality of the volume. That's when we can start to get worried. Like, if Volume 8 seems like rushed or something, then maybe we could be concerned. But right now, I'm optimistic. I wouldn't worry about it too much, and that's basically all I gotta say. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think, what side of that mindset that you're sort of on, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.